Hi, super scientists. So we have spent the last 2 weeks talking about the animal kingdom and classifying our animals into two main categories, two major groups. Do you remember what they are? Well, vertebrates, we know that's what I taught you. They have what? Animals with what? Backbones, right? And invertebrates do not have a backbone. So let's kind of review some stuff that we have learned and information that we probably already know. All animals have a form of outer covering. So it's that skin, that fur, that hair, okay? Animals eat other organisms to get energy. They cannot create their own food like plants, remember? All right, so let's review about vertebrates. We know those are the animals with the backbones, right? There were all of those different groups or classes of vertebrates, starting with mammals. We know mammals have fur or hair on their bodies. Okay, they have a constant body temperature. They breathe air through their lungs, and they give birth to live young and feed them milk. So down at the bottom, we've got a couple examples of our mammals. We, remember, are in the class mammals. All right, birds are also vertebrates, and we know birds hatch from eggs. They have a constant body temperature. They have feathers that cover their body, and they breathe from lungs, right? Oh, reptiles, not to be confused with amphibians, right? Reptiles have that dry, scaly skin. Their body temperature changes. They lay eggs with a tough, flexible covering, and they also breathe from lungs. Then we have amphibians, not to be confused with reptiles. And what makes an amphibian different from a reptile? They have moist skin. They have a changing body temperature too, so that's something similar to reptiles. They lay eggs in water. And then the most important one that's different is that the babies live in water and breathe through, do you remember? Gills. While adults live on land and breathe through lungs, right? So here we've got our toad and our frog. And then we have fish. That is our last vertebrate. Fish live in the water. Their body temperature can change. They lay eggs in the water. And then they also breathe oxygen that is dissolved in water through gills. So they also breathe through their gills, okay? So we should be experts on vertebrates. Now, moving on to invertebrates. Those are animals without a backbone. So we've got the class arthropods. And arthropods live mostly on land. They have a joined body covering instead of a backbone. And this is called an exoskeleton. Arthropods are often classified according to how many sections their body has. So most arthropods are insects, remember. Arachnids and crustaceans are also arthropods, okay? Crustacean right here. Oh, and then we've got the mollusks. Most of them have a shell. They live in water or in a wet, moist surrounding, and they can withdraw their bodies into their shells to protect themselves. So they can go inside their shell to protect themselves, but they do not have a backbone. And then flatworms. Flatworms have soft bodies. They live in water or in moist surroundings. And this one means they can be parasitic, which means they rely on other organisms to survive. So they kind of eat off of other things. Okay? And that, my friends, is our nice vertebrate and invertebrate review. You should also have this sort printed out, okay? So if you do not, you want to make sure that you get that printed out now. I'm going to share my screen with you. And of course, it is not wanting to cooperate. So give me 1 minute. Well, let me try one more thing. Here we go. I got it. One more time. All right, friends. Thanks for being patient. So you have the vertebrates and invertebrates sort. Now, let's just review. We know vertebrates are animals with what? With a backbone. And we know invertebrates are animals without a backbone. Okay, and now we have a lot of animals down here. There are two of the same exact thing. This makes teachers' lives easier because they can cut it in half and not have to print as many copies. If you want to just color this one and use it as a bookmark or create something with it later for art, that's fine. But you really only need to use one, okay? So we have a bunch of different animals. You should be able to identify what each of those animals are, okay? And what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to cut them out and either place them in our vertebrate category or our invertebrate category, okay? Don't glue them yet, because when you think you're all done, you will log back on, watch the video to review which animals belong in the vertebrate kingdom category and which ones belong in the invertebrate, okay? So if you want to color them first and then cut them and put them on, it is totally up to you. But I will see you back here in a few minutes to check your work. All right, bye.